So sometimes I can play alright in TVP, sometimes I don't. Immediately I wanted to go straight for a Cyclone sort of build. I know Cyclones are actually pretty good against Marines and Marauders, and though they're kind of fragile in their current state, it feels like they're a good opener, because if they go Reaper, you can kind of you know, deflect the Reaper, and you can, you know, and put pressure on your opponent. So they're a good like shutdown unit early game for Terran, against the Terran. Unless they go something like a tank and they defend with a tank or something like that, or Banshees, is, you know, you're kind of going to get them off foot. And most Terrans I know will go for like a bio, like they'll get bio defense, and they'll put bio units up in defense and so forth. So unfortunately, I had to pause the game because I was getting phone calls and people were bothering me and whatnot. So anyway, so I've started off here. Typical. I've stuffed up there where I've actually saturated my gas so early. Anyway, I'm going to work on that. I'm trying to now focus on doing my wall first, so I can get my and then do my gas, saturating my gas afterwards. But for this game, I played with the familiar style that I've sort of like embedded into my build, all my builds, where I saturate my gas first thing, and then I build the wall, which is fine, but it delays the second gas, and can sometimes you know, slow down my follow up with the factory. So I feel like if I do the supply depot second or third after the barracks is built, and go straight into building the barracks, I'll scout earlier slightly by a couple of secs, and I'll also get up the gases faster, so they'll saturate faster, so I'll actually be better off. And when I played it and I did it making sure I followed that rule, it worked out great. So here I've gone and I've built myself, I've gone and tech lab this barracks, because what I want to do is, as soon as that factory is finished, I don't want to sit there and wait another 50 seconds for the tech lab to go. I want to go straight into a Cyclone, because I'm going to need that Cyclone ASAP. If a Reaper comes crawling to my base, I'm going to be in trouble without that, and the sooner I can get a Cyclone out, the better. Now, I thought to myself, how am I going to do this? Normally, you could try Cyclone Hellions, but Hellions are sort of fragile in the sense that they also die pretty quickly to tank fire. So I needed something a bit more durable. So I figured to myself, the best thing to do is to go tank Cyclone. Now, tank Cyclone will mean I'll be able to siege and then defend, defend against air attacks and ground attacks with Cyclones. So that was what I was planning to do, and that's what seemed to have worked quite well in this game. So I've already built my Cyclone, it's almost done, so out it comes. So I'm building a second Cyclone. I figure I had enough gas there, because obviously Cyclones are more expensive than tanks, so I'm obviously focusing on my Cyclone production right now. But I said, alright, well, I've got plenty, I'm going to have all this minerals, right? Focusing on these gas heavy units, I'm going to have so much minerals, so I figure, alright, I'm going to go straight into an expansion, because I'm going to need a second base to start making it easier for me to build multiple Cyclones, multiple tanks, and it's just going to be a lot. I need to get up that quicker, and obviously I'm figuring he's going to be expanding as well. And I think I don't think I didn't scout that yet. He's probably on his way. Now I've sent my barracks as a scout, because obviously high ground is going to be important in this particular matchup, and if I can try and deny that expansion, which I believe that he's already trying to do, I'm going to be much better off. So constantly trying to keep myself, so I think Shift N, no, what is it, Shift, yeah, Control N. So currently I'm sort of lacking in supply. He's really shooting up his supply. He's probably way too supplied up for what he's on, but I'm here. got my Cyclones all good. I've denied. I could see he's got the expansion. Now I've scanned it. I could see he's got the... I'm like, okay, he's going Banshee. So I've gone, okay. Turret, turret, turret. He won't be able to get any damage in there at all. Like he can... So, I've seen this. Take this tank out. That's a massive loss for him. So he's cute. He's got 3 Marines. He's got 3 Marines. That's all he's got. He's got one. That's it. He's got nothing else in defense. Okay, so he's got 3 Marines. I've got 1 Cyclone. I could possibly take on those, but I've got 2 siege tanks on their way. So this is where I'm pushing. I'm putting pressure on him. He's quickly trying to build another tank. So another tank's come out. So he's got that there. So I've seen it. I can see he's got the tank. I think I can. So I've lost that, but the tank, I've got 2 tanks, and they're going to do a massive amount of damage. I've left these in standard mode because they can deal with these 2 Marines quite easily. Now I don't want to kind of siege up, because if he comes at me with something like Marauders, he's going to eat through that damage that the tanks are going to have, because tanks, though they do 35 damage, they don't do a massive amount of damage to Marauders. So I'm just trying to deny this, and that's it, I've denied it. I've already expanded, and I'm already saturating my bases. So, still building Cyclones and tanks, still trying to keep that build. I want to try and defend these tanks, stop them from getting denied, while he's trying to strengthen and try and find a way to get around it. So he's got some good production facilities here, but he's stuck on one base, so he's not going to be producing a massive amount. I'm checking up what he's doing. I can see he's got bio, so I'm like, okay, bio. He's trying to siege up this position. I'm trying to keep these units alive. I want to keep them as alive as long as possible. And I'm like, okay, I've got to defend here, because he could grab those units at his base. Those 2 medivacs, he could grab them and send them straight to my base, and he can do a counter attack. And I'll have, what have I got? 1 tank and 1 Cyclone. That's all I've got in defense. I'm like, okay. Alright, so defend here. Put the tank here. It's a good idea to put a tank in defense. He does a push here, tries to take this out, and he does a successful push. And that's it. He's deflected it. Okay? And he did minimal losses, I would say. And off he goes. He's saturating. I moved this, which I'm surprised he didn't take out. I don't know why he didn't take this out. He would have done a lot. Now, unfortunately, I'm floating a lot of minerals here. Floating a lot of minerals. And I've just started production. I've just started building up my air. So I'm like, okay, he's going bio. I know from experience, most ways to deal with bio, you get air control. You got to get as many Vikings as you can early game and deny his ability to use them as high ground advantage site, as well as stop him from using them to heal, to mass heal, deny drops and so forth. So it's important to get those air units up. Tanks alone aren't going to solve it, because he'll just drop on top of the tanks. If you have Viking support, he won't be able to drop on top of tanks without taking at least losing a couple of medivacs full of Marines and Marauders. So I'm like, okay, I've got a few resources. You know, I've gone on my 3rd. He's still on his 2nd, and he's just started working on his 2nd. I've kind of got myself sorted. I've already deflected a Banshee too. He tried to go in here with a Banshee, and he completely got shut down, because I saw the tech lab on the 111. And I knew that's what he was doing. And that's why as soon as I saw it, I built an engineering bay and I started defending up with the turrets. And that's what you have to do. So I got defense there. I've gone up. I was thinking about going BCs. But I thought, you know what? BCs are going to take way too long to get up, and he's going to be pumping out Marines and Marauders. He's going to overwhelm me by the time I have even one BC. So I thought to myself, okay, I put a turret ring up. A center tower, so I can see if he comes in, drops here. And here, I saw that there, he's got to drop here, he's going to do some sort of drop. He saw the turrets, he was like, nah, I'm pulling back. Because I had this defended up. He could drop on this tank, he'd take that tank out, but he won't be able to take this tank out without taking damage. Then he does a push here. He's got one medivac, which he loses straight away. And he focuses down all my SCVs. I don't know why he didn't focus down the Cyclones, but I totally crushed that drop. He wasted that drop massively. And I'm obviously planetaring this one up because a third base normally should play in my position as a mech player. I'm going to need that defense. That's going to allow me to hold off an aggressive bio ball that comes at that base, possibly. So as long as it's saturated with workers, I might be able to hold it off. Now they're not upgraded because I'm focusing all my efforts on getting air control. And I've gotten 3 factories and 4 starports. So I've got a good decent amount of and I'm scanning him. I can see he's got a steady flow of units. He's teching up. He looks like he's getting for a third base. And then here he does a... Here's where another push is. Now this is a big push from him. He's committing to this. He's got a lot of marauders, which is good for taking on. But here, this planetary absolutely killed it. Now unfortunately the stupid lock-on locked on here and I lost this advantage I had here. But I utilised these Vikings. These Vikings was what saved the day, because I was able to take out all his anti-air sight. Yes, the tanks have got sight here, but he's got nothing to stop me, like to stop these Vikings at all. So yes, this is getting pummeled. It's getting pummeled from a distance. He's sitting pretty back at his base going, alright, cool, I've got him pinned now, I can't, you know, he can't do much. And I'm like, okay, alright, well these units aren't doing anything. Let's do some damage. He's going to be pumping units down there to try and get to me and try and take me out. I'm like, well, he's got no turrets. He hasn't got a single turret here. I'm like, well, I can't really stop this right now. I'm pumping out tanks. Let me get my production up. Where's my production? So I'm pumping out tanks, trying to tech up. Then I drop these Vikings in here, and I go, all right, time to take out some supply. Right? He goes from... And obviously I know he's going to be bringing this here. Oh, this is classic. I take out this. I don't know how many units were in that, but that was a good takeaway. I totally owned that attempt to get reinforcements in his base. Now I am trying to take out these supply depots, bring his supply down, so he has to spend resources on supply, and he's blocked for a certain amount of time. I'm getting outnumbered here. I pull back. I'm like, gotta save these Vikings. I can't lose them. I can't afford to lose them. He's continually pounding this area still. I don't know how many resources I wasted here, but it's still doing alright. I get this tank up here, scout, and that's it. I've got these in case he tries to come around here. He could have gone around this way, but he decides to go that way, which is what I was hoping for, and then he traded poorly, and now he retreats. So now, I've got 7 tanks and 5 Vikings. He's got 1 Viking, 1 Liberator, 6 tanks, and 10 Marauders. So he's got barely any Marines. No Marines at all to stop this. Alright? Now I have gone into, I think by now I've gone into, yes, I've gone into Liberator production. So I've gone, well, I get the Liberators, I put the air to ground down, and that'll allow me to defend my tank so he can't drop on top. And also I'm going to be able to take out swamps of Vikings if he tries to take out my air superiority. So we're going steady at the moment. I'm not sure what he's really doing. I said to myself, okay, got to make sure you defend these bases. You got to put your tanks got to be there in case he does some sneaky, attempt to try and jump in the back of my base with a drop and then trying to do damage. So I thought, alright, I'm going to push here. He might have a base here. I didn't always think he'd put a base here. I thought this would probably be the first place he'd go, because that's where I, sometimes I'll go here first. I'm also going for my 4th base. I've got 2 armories going, focusing on my weapons upgrades for my ground and air. I see the 4th base. I'm like, okay, so I can siege my tanks up here. This will give me a thing. This will give me protection, so that if he tries to come through here, he's going to get slaughtered as the tanks, right? Because the tanks are there to stop him from trying to stop me. Then he comes in here, and I'm like, all right, I don't care about losing the tanks. I care about him losing all his medivacs. I want him to lose all those medivacs. He's got nowhere to heal. Once he loses that healing ability, Bios becomes pointless. I've got air superiority right now. let's have a look at my units. So I've got six Liberators. He's got 3 Vikings. That's all he's got in air defense. Yes, he's got Marines. I'm like, okay, let's take this base out. I lock up these Liberators. I kind of stuff up here a little bit. I was supposed to click this one and make that one. Yeah. So anyway, so here I deny the 4th base. He's lost this here. Okay. I've got more Vikings coming. I've got tanks in defense. I'm upgrading. Okay. He loses the 4th. I thought, that's it. I've done my damage. Let's retreat and go back home. Okay. So let's regroup because he's going to be stuck now. He's in a weakened state. He's on 2 bases. I'm on 3. But I'm worried that he can attack at any time. So I've got to keep myself on my toes. Building more and more tanks because I can only take out those all those Marauders. They're going to need something to take them out. So I figure, all right, time to do. Now here's where I go. Okay. Take out his production. If I choke that up with my Liberators, there's nothing he's gonna have to go right through them all to stop me. So I put him in. So that's it. Every single Liberator gets put into mode, and boom, 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 boom. Watch this. He loses nearly everything, and he's got no anti-air defense. And that's it. I've taken out everything. He's got nothing to stop me now. I'm like, okay, let's get out. Let's and that's it. Game's over. I won, and that's how the game went. And I was really happy with that performance. I really utilized my units exactly how I wanted them to be used. So unfortunately, I rallied these here, but I mean, he had all this here. He had everything. He had so much here, but he couldn't stop these. So that's it. So I'll post that up on my YouTube channel because I thought that was a decent game.